Johnny, bullying still seems to be a problem even after all these bloody years. Bullying? Oh yeah, Johnny, it's been going on since we were bloody cavemen, which I say about a lot of things we cover on the Ask Johnny channel, but it literally has been going on since we were cavemen. Yeah, well, what can be done about it then? When I was a little boy, I was bullied. I was bullied every night after school waiting for my mum to come and pick me up, and I just bloody cracked one night and bloody bashed the living shit out of this kid. And strangely enough, he never bloody bullied me again. Johnny, we can't have bloody people just fighting one another in the bloody school, can we? Oh no, you can't go around now. Well, no, you can't have everybody fighting, Johnny, but...
Children should be safe when they go to school. These kids aren't. They're coming home bruised by the fists of cowards, broken by cruel taunts from bullies.
And giving someone a punch in the nose because they've been bullying you, it might be a better mental health outcome for you further down the track than having no resolution to the bullying at all and just living with it for the rest of your life. Right, yeah. So Johnny, are you advocating giving a bully a punch in the nose? That wasn't the first time I was bullied, and I still think about those bloody days back when I was bullied and wishing I had given the bloke a bloody good thump in the nose, because I would have been feeling a hell of a lot better about it. I mean, being bullied with no resolution, Johnny, can stay with you for bloody years.
What happened? I thought he'd gone to the plant.
Never mind, David. What did happen to you?
I stopped over to see Bill Wilson.
In your pajamas?
In my pajamas, obviously.
We're better than bloody animals, and that we can draw and write and drive cars and every fucking thing, and we can't seem to sort out who's going to be a bully and who's not, and why is someone being a bully.
Have been topping the list. Tonight I want to bring your attention to another such issue, bullying in school. It seems to be rampant in American schools. A story from Texas has brought the issue back into focus. An Indian American boy was bullied in a school in Texas. The entire episode was caught on camera, and yet the victim was the one who was punished for what happened.
This is the Coppell Middle School North, a state-of-the-art institute in Coppell, Texas, one of the best rated according to Texas Education Agency. But it's making headlines for the wrong reasons. Look at this video.
Get the out, no. Get the out.
It's from the 11th of May. What you see is an Indian American boy being bullied by one of his American classmates. The bully is asking the boy to give up his seat. When the victim refuses, the bully gets angry, presses the boy's neck, chokes him with his elbow, drags him down from his seat as his fellow classmates egg him on and film the entire episode. Watch now. The video has since gone viral. The student has been identified as 14-year-old Sean Pritmani. A reporter who spoke to the boy says he didn't want to fight back and get in trouble. What sort of trouble? More intimidation from the bully. What's worse is the response of the school authorities. Reports say they've held the bullied student responsible and given him a 3-day suspension from school. The aggressor got suspended for just 1 day. The parents of the boy have now sought an investigation.
Yeah, right, so just do it. And we've had a couple of terrible incidents in the United States recently, Johnny. Mass shootings and all that bloody stuff, and these were just young blokes. And I reckon if you went back into their bloody classroom history, these two pricks would have been bullied.
And that school district? Indeed, David. He's identified by the governor of Texas as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, a student at Uvalde High School.
A shooter, a mass shooter. Police say the lone suspected gunman, 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, killed 10 people and wounded 3 others. 11 of his victims are black.
What do? You send your kids to school, expect them to be in a safe learning environment so they can grow up to be productive members of society, and then they get bullied to the point of tears. What would you do? Would you switch schools? Would you teach them the old 1-2 so they can punch the other kid in the nose and defend them for themselves? Would you tell the administration that's their fault? They need to take control of the classroom? Or would you do nothing and let all those years of anger and frustration and bitterness build until one day they get a gun and walk into a school or a church? Or maybe suicide becomes their only option.
Neither, might I add, is postulating on the nature of regulations around firearms, although of course less firearms, less murder from firearms seems like a pretty simple piece of arithmetic. I would invite you to contemplate the question, why is there so much fear? Why is there so much anxiety? Why is there so much suffering? This happened in an impoverished community, a community of 16,000 people, many of whom are living in conditions of poverty. I think we have to look at the way we organise society.
I had a son that was being bullied, Johnny, you know him. And every night he'd come home and he'd say such and such is giving him a hard time, And this son of mine, he was a big kid, big strong kid. And after a while I got sick of hearing these tales of woe every night getting in the car. And one day I said to him, well, you're going to have to give him a punch in the fucking nose. And he said, oh, I can't do that, I'll get into trouble. You can't go doing that around school. Well, it is frowned upon. So what he was doing was putting his bloody perceived good nature in front of him having a shitty time at school. Just can't have people, just so people wouldn't think he was a bad person or something.
That being the virtue of courage, and as Alexander Solzhenitsyn warned in 1978, a decline in courage may be the most striking feature which an outside observer notices in the West in our days. Should one point out that from ancient times, declining courage has been considered the beginning of the end? In this video, we are going to explore how a hyperconformity and blind obedience has infected the West and, in the process, crowded out the cultivation of courage.
But sometimes you've got to just take these matters into your own hands.
Counter the continuum of destruction that is a product of too much conformity and too much government force. More people need to act with moral courage. Moral courage entails a willingness to encounter risks so as to defy immoral orders, reject authoritarian government control, and to stand up for the disappearing values of truth, freedom, and justice. And as Rushworth Kidder explains in his book Moral Courage, where there's no danger, there's no courage. Anyone can endure security and well-being. The real challenges arise in the face of hazard. So it is with moral courage, where danger is endured for the sake of an overarching commitment to conscience, principles, or core values. Some acts of moral courage are accompanied by mild risks.
And these days, Johnny, young people, particularly young blokes, spending hours and hours and hours on these bloody games. That can't be doing anything good for him mentally, that's for sure.
The Lone Ranger.
Perhaps teaching kids to live by the courage of their convictions, Johnny, would be far better off being taught in schools instead of learning fucking Japanese or something. But Johnny, sometimes punching the bully in the nose might have a better long-term effect for the person being bullied's mental health than actually no resolution at all. Well, Johnny, we thank you again for another ripping bloody documentary. I hope that's bloody been words of wisdom for somebody out there, for Christ's sake. I mean, you can carry those things for bloody years, Johnny.
I don't feel